Welcome back to Sophie and Jumong, Part 17. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and share this with 5 friends. Thanks for watching. He had insisted on driving her himself. Not because she asked, because he owed her. In his heart, Jumong told himself, if it hadn't been for Gina, I would have never met Sophie. And that truth had shaped everything since. Gina sat beside him, silent. They drove for nearly 2 hours, leaving behind Seoul's polished heart and venturing toward its quiet, forgotten edges. The houses grew older, the roads thinner. Fields appeared between buildings, and the rhythm of life seemed slower out here. Gina didn't ask why he was coming. She glanced at him once or twice, noticing how thoughtful he looked but didn't interrupt. He drove like someone on a pilgrimage, not for show, but for something sacred. When they reached the house, a simple cream-painted home with vines curling near the fence, Gina sat still for a moment before reaching for the door. "They don't know you're coming," she said. "That's all right," Jumong replied softly. "Let them meet me as I am." Gina's mother opened the door first. Her eyes widened when she saw the man standing beside her daughter. "Ma'am," Jumong said with a polite bow, "I'm Jumong. Thank you for letting me come." She blinked. You're the one from—" "Yes," he said gently, "but today I'm here for Gina." The woman's eyes glistened. She opened the door wider. Inside, the home was modest. A small altar of family portraits sat beside the couch. In the far corner, seated in a cushioned chair near the window, was Gina's father. His body leaned slightly to the side. His left arm rested limply on the padded support. A blanket covered his legs. His gaze, though slow to meet them, was alert. Gina moved quickly to his side. "Appa," she said brightly, "I brought someone. This is my friend Jumong." Jumong walked forward and bowed low. Then, with the utmost tenderness, he knelt down. "Sir," he said, voice calm, warm, and reverent, "I've heard so much about your strength. It's an honor to meet you." Gina's father didn't speak, but his chin trembled. His eyes filled. Tears slid silently down his weathered cheeks. Jumong reached out and gently touched the man's hand, the one that still moved. He held it between his palms. "I'm here to ask, with all humility, if you and your wife would consider coming to live with Gina. You raised such a kind and caring daughter, someone who, no matter the situation, showed genuine kindness to Sophie. I know the woman I love because of the pain Gina has been through. That's why I wanted to be the brother Gina never had." For the first time, Gina's dad reached out his other hand, though no one noticed except Jumong. Then he said, "I've brought all the paperwork. I'll leave it here so the villa officially becomes yours." Gina couldn't believe it. "What?" she exclaimed. They hugged, and Gina's mother, overwhelmed with happiness, dropped to her knees to thank him. It was such an emotional moment, tears streaming down their faces, but these were tears of joy. Gina never imagined that her kindness to Sophie would end up changing all their lives. Later, while Gina helped set up tea in the kitchen, Jumong sat quietly with her mother on the small bench outside. Birds chirped from the rooftop gutters. The wind was slow. He turned to her gently. "There's something I need to tell you." She looked at him carefully. "It's about Gina." Her fingers tightened around her cup. Jumong continued, careful with his words. "We've done a full medical screening. There's a small tumor forming behind her right ear. It's benign for now, but we need to monitor it closely." Gina's mother closed her eyes. Her lips parted slightly. "She needs you. Both of you. Come to Seoul. I'll ensure your husband gets the therapy he needs, too." She opened her eyes again. "I don't know how to thank you. Just stay close to her. That's the best thing you can do." She leaned over, touched his arm. "You're not what I expected, not a prince, not a tycoon, just a man trying to be good." He gave a faint smile. "I fail often, but I keep trying." Inside, Gina sat beside her father, holding his hand and humming a soft lullaby she remembered from her childhood. Her mother walked back in and said nothing, only leaned in, brushing Gina's hair once. Jumong shared some tea with them and gave Gina's mom a warm hug, then did the same with her dad. Before leaving, he told Gina to give him a call when they're ready, because he'd send some folks over tomorrow to help them move their stuff into the new villa. Gina was really grateful. After that, Jumong headed back home. While driving, Sophie called. "Hey, my love," he answered with a smile, calling her my queen. He felt happy knowing he could make her smile, proud that his success was making a difference, and thankful that Sophie's presence brought out a more relaxed side of him. The 2-hour drive felt way too long because he couldn't wait to see her. Jumong then called Elias, letting him know he was driving to a nearby landing field to catch a ride. Elias picked up right away. "What about Gina? Did you leave her there?" "Yes, but mentioned they'd probably send cars tomorrow to help with the move to the villa." Elias chuckled with excitement. Jumong teased him. "I can hear you smiling. What's going on? Something I should know?" Elias laughed it off, saying it was too soon to say. They shared a laugh, and within half an hour, Jumong's chopper had arrived. Jumong's chopper landed gently on the private helipad near the edge of the estate, the blades slowing as the warm dusk light spread across the hills. Waiting at the edge was a man in a tailored navy suit, carrying a sleek velvet box. He bowed deeply as Jumong approached. "Mr. Cha, it's ready," the man said, "just as you requested." Jumong nodded, taking the box in his hands with reverence. Inside, nestled in satin, was a complete gold jewelry set: necklace, earrings, and bracelet, each piece delicately engraved with one name, Sophie. The letters gleamed softly, like they had waited their whole life to adorn her skin. It wasn't just jewelry, it was a vow, a promise, a whisper of what she had become to him. He thanked the man quietly, then walked to his car, his mind already running ahead. At the villa, chefs had been flown in for the night. The scent of grilled sea bass, buttered vegetables, and soft spice drifted out through the windows. Candle-lit lanterns lined the hallway. The entire West Wing had been decorated anew, elegant but not excessive, designed to feel like warmth, not show. Before entering, Jumong turned to his assistant. "Send the second car," he said. "She must be picked up with no rush, and tell the driver to take the long route. Let her see the sunset." Sophie had just finished washing her hands when the soft chime of her phone rang. The message was simple. "A car is on its way. Take your time. Wear what makes you feel like you, Jay." She stood still, reading it again. By the time the car pulled up, Sophie looked like light itself. The drive was quiet, the windows framing a warm sunset. The driver said nothing, only offered her water, then adjusted the music to soft piano. Sophie didn't know where exactly she was being taken, but her fingers were curled lightly in her lap, a quiet smile playing on her lips. When the car pulled into the estate, the gates opened like arms. She stepped out and gasped. White flowers lined the path. The villa rose tall and golden against the sky. Jumong waited at the entrance, his smile quiet but utterly sincere. She walked toward him, the hem of her dress brushing her ankles. "Welcome," he said. Sophie tilted her head. "You did all this for dinner?" He stepped closer. "No," he replied. "For you." He offered his arm. She took it. Inside, the hallway was lit with golden warmth. She smelled lavender and roasted garlic, saw candles, and felt something like awe. They walked together to the dining room. There, at the center of a table built for 20, was a small, intimate setting for 2. On her chair sat a box. She paused. He gestured. "Open it." She did. Inside, gold. Soft, warm, thoughtful gold. Her name carved like a signature on the necklace. She covered her mouth. "Jumong, I don't—" He reached forward, gently lifting the necklace, walking around her to clasp it on. "Let me," he whispered. As the metal kissed her collarbone, Sophie closed her eyes. He moved in front of her again, and this time he simply looked at her, like she was the only thing he ever wanted to see again. Their dinner began. Small bites, long glances, laughter. He poured her tea with a little grin. She teased him about his apron moment at campus. He said he'd do it again in a heartbeat. Halfway through the meal, he reached across the table. "You changed me, Sophie. I thought I was living before I met you. But now I know that was only waiting." Her eyes filled. And I didn't know people like you existed, she replied. You see everything I try to hide. He stood, walked to her side, and knelt. I'm not asking for anything tonight, not promises, not answers, just this moment, she nodded. Then let's stay in it, she whispered. The entire scene looked like a dream, like the pages of a novel where the heroine finally steps into the fairy tale. Jumong guided her to her chair, pulling it out and waiting for her to sit. The moment she did, he moved opposite her, still silent, still watching her as though she held his entire world in her eyes. This is too much, Sophie whispered, her voice caught between wonder and hesitation. No, Jumong replied. This is just the beginning. Their meal began quietly. The first course, a subtle pumpkin soup infused with ginger and lemongrass, warmed Sophie from within. Every bite was a reminder of how far she'd come, from long shifts at the hotel to this night, sitting across from the man who had changed her world. As they ate, their conversation drifted from favorite childhood memories to dreams neither had dared to voice out loud. He told her about a sketch he once made of a life outside of business, something slower, more meaningful. She spoke of Namibia, of warm wind and long sunsets, of her mother's voice calling her name from the garden. Every time she laughed, Jumong leaned forward slightly, as though her joy pulled him closer. Every time his hand grazed his glass or brushed the table, she noticed how steady he was, how intentional. When dessert came, a small chocolate tart with passion fruit drizzle, he reached across the table, not for the spoon, but for her hand. You don't have to say yes to anything now, he began, his tone low and unshaken. But Sophie, I want to share more evenings like this, not because of the lights or the food or even the gifts, but because when I sit across from you, I feel like I've come home. She stared at him, heart thudding. The air had changed. You make me feel seen, she whispered, like I'm not just a girl passing through your world. He smiled, his thumb brushing her hand. You're not passing through. You're building it with me. He helped her up. They walked to the lounge, shoes off, soft jazz playing. She leaned into him, her head resting on his chest. And they danced, just the two of them. The moon watched from above. It was her. The warmth in her eyes, the soft curve of her lips, the tender way she stood there with her heart in her eyes. He stepped closer. From the moment I met you, there was a feeling I couldn't name. And now, that feeling has a name. It's you. They were only inches apart now, and Sophie looked up into his eyes. Her heart beat against her ribs like a soft drum, not out of fear, but awe. She had been afraid to dream this deeply, to be cherished this deeply. I don't know what to say, she murmured. Just be here with me. That's enough.